Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Techno. Today, I've actually got two videos for you. This first video is actually my first confrontation battle. Now, don't know if you guys have been paying attention to patch notes, but in 8.11 they released a new battle type, which is confrontation. Confrontation battles are between tanks of all the same nation. So you'll notice on my team, I'm playing my Tiger II here, which is the German Tier 8 Heavy, and all the rest of my team are all German tanks, whereas we are fighting all US tanks. Kind of an interesting battle type. We really lucked out because German tanks are just absolute monsters on city maps, so we got really lucky here. We are on Ruinberg on Fire, which is also new in 8.11. And it is a standard battle, so we don't have any flags that we're all trying to capture. We're just trying to either kill the enemy or capture their base, which is the red flag on the minimap. Alright, now if you've watched my Ferdinand video, which I posted just yesterday, on that video I talked about side scraping, and we also talked about armor angling. Now, German tanks are absolutely fantastic at doing those two things. And if they don't do those two things, they're absolutely horrible for most cases. So you're going to see a lot of that from not only me, but my whole team here, because we're all German tanks. So as long as we're side scraping, we're doing all right. All right, now I want to hold this corner because this is somewhere that people flank a lot. And yep, sure enough. So there's an M103. That's Tier 9 US Heavy. This guy didn't seem to be really paying attention, so I'm just going to take advantage of that. He just wants to keep giving me his side armor. Try to hit the back of his turret here. The reason I did that, guys, is because there's usually that's where the ammo rack is. So ammo storage is in usually the back quarter or half of the turret. Angling my armor. Now here I'm angling my armor for the 103, which it wasn't enough. He's got a really high pin gun. He is Tier 9, I'm Tier 8. So he was able to put that through. Looking at my armor there, it looked like it was a little too flat, so I needed to adjust my angle a little bit. It wasn't angled enough to give me that auto bounce. But that's okay. We go ahead and we put quite a few runs into him, and he gets distracted, and we're flanking on both sides of him, and I put a round through his turret, his commander's cupola, on his turret there, and finish him off. Now the T-28 hits me pretty good there. So what I do is I pull in and I give him less to shoot at, and then I hit him in his hatch as well. So, alright, 2 kills. If you look at the enemy team, we've only killed 3, and 2 of those were us. So hey, that's doing pretty good considering it's a Tier 9 battle and we're Tier 8. Alright, so what I see here is I'm looking at the minimap and I notice that they've kind of pushed this corner, so I want to come down here and support this E75. If we lose this corner, we're going to be in trouble, so we don't want to lose this corner. Now, what I do though is by coming down to this corner, I kind of expose myself to a lot more fire than I should have, so that T-29, see him over there? He's kind of peeking out every now and again from that rubble. If I angle my armor so that it's effective against these guys coming around this corner, I'm going to make it really, really flat to him. So that's one thing that's a little tricky about German tanks and side scraping and armor angling is they work fine, but only really against one enemy. If there's 2 or there's, you know, a couple enemies and one's able to kind of move away further and basically throw off your armor angle, it becomes a lot harder for you to be effective. Alright, now I do take a really big hit from the T-30. I thought I was kind of safe in that little hole there, but it ended up being that my rear hull was high enough that he could hit it. Kind of sucks because T-30s have some pretty good damage, and I really didn't need to take that hit. But and then another E75 moves up, so we're going to let him take the brunt of the force and basically act as a sniping role. Alright, I do get a round put into that T-29, so it takes him out. Alright, now this is really good because he, like I said, he was using his angle relative to us to make our armor angling ineffective. Alright, bounce a shot from the T-34 there. And we're going to try to put one in his commander's hatch again. Yep. Alright, up to 4 kills. Let's see if we can get a few more. These guys in this corner are getting pretty low, but I want to stick around to give support to the E75. No. Yeah, so I got TK'd there. Ferdinand Driver. I don't know. He in chat here in a second he'll say sorry I backed into his shot, but you know, and guys, really that comes down to just an error on both of us. If the shot's gonna be that close, if you're gonna be that near a miss of the friendly tank, I'd probably say don't take it. You know, it's just one of those things where that kind of thing can really cost the game. Now it doesn't in this game, but it could have cost the game. You know, if I was the only tank on that corner and he was trying to shoot around me and he ended up killing me, that basically frees up the enemy team to come around that corner after him. And it could have been kind of a cascading effect there, but it didn't. But, you know, just try to be careful. Nobody likes to be TK'd, especially when you're doing well. Which I think was my response in chat was, but I was doing so well. But okay, you know, it happens. I wasn't really pissed or anything at that guy. It sucked, but we went ahead and won, and I did pretty well this round anyway. So, all in all, it was a good game. And not bad for my first confrontation. Alright, so as you can see, we did 53,000 credits, 32 XP, 3,200 XP that is. All in all, you know, it wasn't the most amazing game ever, but, you know, wasn't bad, right? So he fired 12 rounds, 12 hit, and 12 pinned. Gotta love the gun on a Tiger 2. 3,100 damage. We took 5 hits, 3 went through, but we did bounce 2. Gave us a potential damage received for 2,190, which would have killed us otherwise. I don't know if that actually counts the round from the guy that TK'd me. I don't think it does. Alright, so we got 28,000 credits. All in all, pretty good game. Alright, so on the second battle here, see if we can survive the whole game maybe. So this is another standard battle, and we are on the map Westfield. Not as good as a map for the Tiger 2 in general. Like I said, you know, German tanks really like to side scrape, and they like to get in positions where they can only present enemies with certain parts of their tank to shoot at. So areas like this that are very open, that have a lot of hills, that kind of stuff, makes it a little trickier for the German tank. Another thing about German tanks is they generally have pretty poor gun depression. When I say gun depression, what I mean is the ability to point the gun down. So if I'm driving up a hill and there's an enemy on the other side of that hill, am I going to be able to point my gun at that enemy? You know, that's gun depression. And Germans don't generally get the best gun depression, so on hilly maps like this, it makes it tricky because not only are you exposing your front lower glacis plate, but, which is very weak by the way, but you also can't shoot the enemy until you come pretty much all the way over the top of the hill, which then again gets you exposed to more enemy fire. So playing a German tank on a hill map like this or a very open map is a little tricky, and you have to kind of learn where to go and what to do. So to begin with here, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of feeling out the enemy. Chat in this game is especially entertaining if you have your resolution up high enough to see it, although you may not want to. Alright, so it looks like we've got quite a few people in town. And I'm really the top tier heavy on this map, so I want to do a lot of pushing. Alright, now watch as I come over this hill, and I'll show you kind of, look how far I have to come up the hill to get my gun down to actually put a round into that Tiger 1. I have to come up pretty much all the way. I have to expose almost my whole front hull, so that's what I'm talking about as far as gun depression. But he's not paying attention, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of him. Alright, I quickly come over the rest of the crest there, spot an ARL-44. This is a really not a threat, so I go ahead and put a round into him, bounce one of his rounds, and just ram him the rest of the way. And the FCM-50T finishes him off. Alright, so feeling pretty unstoppable at this point in the game, so I'm just going to go ahead and just charge. Find a Sherman, put a round right into his. Gun mantlet doesn't even bounce. So gotta love these German guns. They really are high pin guns. Put a round right through his front plate, which is the most armored part probably on that tank. Now this T-29 driver knew what he was doing. You can see where he put that round right in the lower front plate. That's where you want to shoot a Tiger II. And like I said, because I'm up out in these open maps, I can't hide it. Most people don't know about it at tier 7, but this guy obviously knew what he was doing, so props to him for knowing where to shoot. Although, I kind of was just being a little Rambo-y on this game and threw myself out in the middle of a field with 2 enemy tank destroyers and 2 enemy heavy tanks. So what I do though is I'm going to go ahead and pull back behind the wreck of this T-29 and use him to side scrape out from. Which, you know, guys, don't be afraid to do that. It is very effective. And if you're out in the middle of a field like this where you've got relatively no cover, there's nothing wrong with using an enemy hull for cover. I just took a round from the SU-2244 there. He bounced because I was side scraping out from the hull. Took out the T-34. We're up to 3 kills. Can we get another round into any of the tanks in town here? 3002D there is behind the building. 2244 looks like he's moved further into town. No, it doesn't. Well, I shot. I may have actually removed some cover there, but anyway, we're not going to get that kill, so let's move on. Alright, so we're heading off into the field here. We spot the ISU-152. He could have a very dangerous gun on him, but I don't actually think he does. I think he's actually using a 1T2 based on how small the gun barrel looks. It's a little hard to tell though. He could have a gun that does over 750 average damage, so if he rolled high he could do some serious damage to us, but he didn't seem too keen on staying where he was at, and he's not going to have a position to fire up at us from where he's at currently. Alright, T-69. T-69 is the auto loader. It is, I believe, tier 8 medium US. One thing about T-69 is they have horrible pin, so if you're a heavy armored tank like the Tiger II, it's easy for you to basically keep your hull pointed toward them and just let them bounce off the front. Alright, we removed the ISU-152, which makes me feel a lot braver. I'll go ahead and get the kill on that guy. I exposed my top hull armor here coming down this hill, but whatever is firing at me must have a pretty wimpy gun, because he bounces 3 more rounds as I come down the hill. And you can see him kind of plinking off me as I'm coming down. We finally spot the tank that's doing it. It's a T-43. T-43's top gun is an 85mm, so it's actually not a very strong tank. I actually have played through that tank, and it's not that great of a tank. So we're going to try to do a little bit more damage before the round ends, see if we can get a little more in, maybe try to get another kill. We're up to 4 kills and 3,900 damage, so all in all it's already been a good game. A couple strong ramming hits, which is always fun in a game as well. Can we get a hit on him? Yep. Alright, we put another round into him. See if we can get the kill on him though. He's sitting there. Look, no, okay. And that's the game. All in all, it's a fantastic game on a really open map for a Tiger. Alright, let's look and see how we did. Hey, we got a high caliber, which is always nice. First class, 66,000 credits, 1737 XP. Let's go look at the numbers here. Alright, you can see me at the top there. I did 4279 damage, top damage in the game there. 17 shots, 14 hits, 14 pins. Like I said, the gun on the Tiger II is pretty awesome. Basically, if you can hit somebody, you can basically pin them, which is always nice. Took 8 rounds, only 2 went through. Bounced another 6 off for potential damage of 2070. And that those 6 bounces, the reason the damage is so low on the potential is because they were from that T-43. So, anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching the videos of me playing my Tiger II. I'll have some more videos up for you come Monday next week. Catch you guys later.